Now, the former UKIP leader and prominent Brexit campaigner Nigel Farage has said this morning that the UK is likely to delay Brexit and that another referendum is possible. So opponents of European Union membership need to organise. We can talk to Mr Farage now. He joins us from Westminster. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
First of all, do you think Article 50 needs to be extended?
No, of course not. I think we should leave on World Trade Organization terms. That is what 500 MPs voted for when they voted for Article 50. But I get the sense, after the withdrawal agreement has failed, that they just don't want to do that. And so I'm hoping for the best, but I am preparing for the worst. And I do think one thing. I think the extension of Article 50 now becomes the most likely outcome.
So you think it may be necessary, and you think that rejecting the Prime Minister's deal, as we saw earlier this week, makes that more necessary?
No, I didn't say necessary. You know, Article 50 is very clear. It says we have up to 2 years to negotiate a withdrawal agreement, or failing that, we just leave. The withdrawal agreement's gone down, we should just leave. And that, of course, would mean we genuinely would become an independent country. But I just don't see the will in our government, from our Prime Minister, to really do that. Now, I very much hope I'm wrong, but what I do know is if the decision is to extend Article 50, that opens up all sorts of possibilities. One of them is we could even fight the European elections, which take place on May the 23rd this year. The other, of course, is that in the end, a second referendum gets foisted upon the people. And I know that the Remain side are well-funded, well-organised. I mean, they've been campaigning for 2 years for this second referendum. And I think it would be negligent of those of us on the Leave side not to prepare, not to get ready in case the worst happens.
And indeed, you've said that you're working on what you describe as a new political vehicle to be ready for a possible second referendum on this question. Can you tell us more about what form that would take? What do you mean by a new political vehicle?
Well, in terms of the second referendum, I am working together with the Leave Means Leave group. It's cross-party in terms of the politicians that take part in it, but it also is bringing in people from the world of business. I mean, just last night we had Sirocco Forte, of the hotel group, Tim Martin of Wetherspoons. So we're trying to make this a very broadly based thing. We're getting ready. We're building branches and structure all over the country. I hope we never, ever have to effectively use the vehicle, but we're building it, and that's Leave Means Leave. When it comes to the European elections, I'm looking at various political options. If this happens, I'll make sure there is a political party there with a list that I can be part of.
OK, so you are talking about a political party as opposed to a campaign per se,
I'm talking about
party
both.
With a campaign.
I'm talking about both. A referendum isn't something where political parties are very useful. A referendum is about people coming together from all different walks of life. That work is already well underway. But I do see, I've been in Strasbourg this week, and somebody from the Secretariat of the European Parliament said to me, Brexit is dead, we think you're coming back here in May. So I am finding the right political vehicle to fight those European elections if they happen.
And can you give us any other names of people who would be on board with you for that new political vehicle?
Not at this stage, no. But a lot of people have said to me, look, we're going to keep our faith in the existing political parties. But if this goes wrong, there's going to be a huge demand from millions of people out there for something different.
It's not the first time, of course, that you've talked about the possibility of another referendum. In some ways, would you actively welcome that?
No, of course not. It would be an outrage. We had a referendum. Everybody promised us it was our decision. It would be implemented. We backed it up in a general election. We then saw 500 MPs vote for Article 50. And now, frankly, little piece by little piece, that Brexit is being betrayed by our political class.
Do you think people voted last time round, though, to leave with no deal?
They voted to leave the political structures of the European Union for us to become an independent country. That is what they voted for, and that at the moment, it seems, is what Parliament is set to deny them.
But do you think that people thought that involved leaving without any sort of deal with, a massive trading
Well, there is
partner?
a deal. There is a deal. It's called the World Trade Organization. They have a set of established rules upon which form the basis of over 90% of global trade. What was clear in the referendum is that every leading player on both the Leave and the Remain side said that a vote to leave means leaving the single market, leaving the customs union, and here we have Theresa May engaged in cross-party talks that potentially would keep us in both of those.
But do you think the terms could have been clearer first time round? I don't think any of us, politicians, the media, the general public, anyone really knew what all of this entailed. There were lots of unknowns. There were unknown unknowns.
Well, there were lots of unknowns with Remain, weren't there? I mean, since we voted to leave...
On both sides, yes, Mr Farage, but that's the point I'm making.
Yeah, because politics and the world is dynamic. You know, it does keep changing for all sorts of reasons. But I don't think there was any confusion about what leave meant. Leave meant genuinely taking back of control of our laws, our borders, and being an independent, self-governing nation. I don't think anybody that voted leave was confused about that.
OK, Mr Farage, thank you for your time this morning. We'll wait to see if this new political vehicle emerges. Thank you.